example, I had Chris Brown in June.
Just this past June? Okay.
I thought once I dropped it was just going to be sold out in 5 minutes. Not so, because the economy can't support it. There's too many Live Nation big tours going out, and everybody can't keep up. They can't catch their breath. You know, and these tickets are 4 and 5. And, you know, that costs a lot of money for these shows. So, you know, I used to feel great about it because artists were 10 and 20,000. But when you get artists at 150,000, you're trying to put them in a club. I hope to break even sometimes. More is about exposure sometimes, you know. It's not always about winning.
The visibility to get your brand out there.
You think Live Nation wins every time, but they don't. You know, we hope in the end you're in the black.
I like how you said that.
But sometimes you're gonna be in the red. You just juggling.
What did you just say? You say you think they think they win every time, but they don't, huh?
No, they don't. They don't. But that's why they're buying the buildings. They control the merch. They have so many streams of income. So the show might not made the money, but they might have made it off the merch, or they might have made it at the bar because they own the building now.
We can all go through hardships in life, and sometimes you may want to give up. But we're gonna tell you how to bounce back, turn it around. This is the Climb Back series. We outside, it's beautiful in downtown Baltimore. The Climb Back series has brought us to the Belize Rooftop. Check it out, man, it's off the hook, it's feeling good. Summer's still going, come party with us. We sitting down with Tracye Ikon, one of the biggest concert promoters in Baltimore. Let's get it. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Hef Streams. We're back with another episode of the Climb Back series, and I'm excited to have one of Baltimore's largest concert promoters, Tracye Ikon herself. Thank you very much for having us, Tracy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm excited for this episode. This
really?
Is very much so. This is one of those episodes to where I really hope that people tune in because you're doing some big things. And the first thing that I want to talk about is, where are we? We out here at a beautiful rooftop. Go ahead and tell the people where we are.
My baby, Belize Rooftop. You know, I had a vision for it. I wanted to give a feel of Miami, somewhere where you go out of town, because everybody doesn't get a chance to go out of town.
Okay.
So we wanted something to make you feel that you're not necessarily in Baltimore. Not that there's a problem with Baltimore, just to give a different vibe, tropical vibe. And I think we kind of achieved it, you know?
Absolutely. And I tell everybody, you know, you guys know I'm from Washington, D.C., so I'm used to that lounge vibe. And coming up here, I was blown away. Like the space, the location. You guys are going to see the nice skyline in the background. So I can't wait to party with you guys.
Please do.
But talk about, for those who don't know you, tell me about you, Tracy, where you came from and how you got started.
Well, originally, when I first got out of school, I went to Hampton University now.
Okay.
And I moved to Los Angeles and worked for Motown Records.
Wow.
So that was a long time ago when we had, in my mind, real stars. You had the Stevie Wonders and all those good people there. You know, I would run into the Jacksons almost every day because their father's office was in the same building.
Wow.
So once they sold to MCA, that whole company got sold, I had no job. So I had to move back home. I got into radio. I started working for radio in Philadelphia, for Beasley Brothers, for a lot of different radio companies. And that was cool, but I got to meet a lot of celebrities. And in doing so, I started throwing parties, just private parties, but they would all come out. And they were like, you should do this for a living. Your parties are lit. So I had to move home because my dad got sick with cancer. So I moved back home, but I kept throwing the parties, you know, and I met a lot of people here and they were coming out. So I decided I wanted to do concerts. So I had a good friend from Philly. His name is Jay, Dr. J's son.
Okay.
And at the time, he was managing like
Dr. J, the basketball player.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So at the time, and I worked for CBS Sports, so I met a lot of athletes at the time. So he had Jadakiss. He had Floetry, and they were like my favorite. So I called him. I said, Jay, I want to talk to you. I want to get one of your artists. He was like, come on up. Let's go to dinner and talk about it. So I went to Philly, and he said, who you want? So I said, I want a Floetry. He was like, all right, I'll do it for you, but I'm only do it for $5,000, but don't tell nobody. I said, hell no, I'm not telling nobody this.
So this was like your first time stepping out there, making a phone call. What gave you the courage to do that?
I don't know. I just love music. I was always involved in music. I was involved in church. I was always in groups in church, you know, so I always loved music. But I just thought it would be a good, you know, parlay from the party to the concert world, you know? So across the street used to be a club called Sonar.
Okay.
And they had no concert part. It was just a small lounge, but next door to it had a parking garage. So I said, I could probably go in here, put a stage, pour some porta pots, some blow heaters.
You just had the vision.
I just made it up. And Floetry came down this big tour bus. I know they probably, what the hell Jay got us into? But everybody came. Carmelo Anthony.
Tracy, hold on.
Pause.
You saying some phenomenal stuff right now.
Okay.
So you pretty much put this party together from scratch. It sounds like you had your resource, you made your phone call, you knew what artist you wanted to get, but you didn't really have everything set up from the get-go.
No venues back then.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So go ahead and finish. How you
So, like I said, Carmelo Anthony, all the Ravens came because no one had ever done an artist in like a little spot like that. But it gave you like a New York vibe, like that garage kind of vibe. So it kind of worked, you know. Unfortunately, I made no money. Everybody was stealing. Security was stealing out back. The girl in the box office was stealing. But I got the fever for it, and I could see that it could make money if I just tightened up.
First major show, you made the call, so you got Floetry.
Yes.
You got the venue. You had artists and celebrities come through. Didn't make any money.
No.
So what's the regroup from that? Like, are you buzzing once you made that first
buzzing
big
like
swing?
a mofo. Like everybody's talking about it. They didn't know. I didn't tell nobody. You know, it was embarrassing. So I called Jay again and said, Jay, I want to do it one more time. Can I get Jadakiss? And at that time, he had that album out with Why. Remember that song, Why?
Yeah.
Oh, he was on fire. So he said, all right, I'll get you Jadakiss. It's going to be 10 now. I said, okay, go for it.
You know, and you in business now, so you can
So it was a club back then called Redwood Trust or Palmer. And I called the owner. I said, listen, I want to do a show here. So he said, all right, you can rent it for one night. Told me what it would cost. And we sold it out. It was so sold out that we had to close the doors because they were trying to bust through to get in. Everybody was trying to get into the show. It was like insane. And I made my first $20,000.
Oh my goodness.
I was so excited.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was so lit. And Jada was a dream to work with. We're friends to this day. And he was like, anytime you need me. So I think the word spread with all the rappers. Like, that's the go-to. Go to Tracy when you go to Baltimore. Even though a lot of artists didn't want to come. They were like, we like you, but Baltimore too dangerous. Let's do DC.
Okay.
And I was like, no, I'll pay more to get you to come here. Because once you come here, you're going to like it. You're going to see. And they started coming. The money was flowing.
Were these artists that said that, were they all from the same type of area like New York? Or were these artists telling you that?
Down south more so.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I was going after the T.I.s, the Waynes, Gucci's, the Jeezys. They were up and coming at that time.
So this like early 2000s.
Yep.
When all that was hot.
Yeah.
So talk about, because, you know, obviously the Comeback series we're going to touch on, you know, some trials and tribulations you might have had.
Pick
and we
one.
and we talked before we came live about, you know, you opening up a club and you jumping into that lane because at this point you've already gotten a taste for promoting.
Yeah.
So tell us about that experience, about how you opened the club, how you started that, and then what happened.
Well, after I rented the club called Redwood Trust Palmer, I decided I wanted to get the club. It was closed. I was like, well, you know what? They're not doing well with these other people. I got a good rapport with the owner. So I called him. He said, you know what? You can get the lease. So I had a partner. I had two of them, actually. And we got our little coins together, and we bought the liquor license, and we started going. I named it Velvet Rope Nightclub.
How many years would you say were you concert promoting before you made that investment?
About 5.
Okay.
About 5
so
years.
5 years going.
Yeah.
Now you already then put yourself in position to make your first major investment in opening the club.
Exactly. And it was a hit.
I know you were elated.
Oh my God. It was a lot of, you know, pitfalls because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Throwing a show in an arena or at the pier is one thing, but the day-to-day grind, the liquor license, the taxes, the bills, the payroll, the staff fighting, I just was not used to it, you know. The owner is my partner, is dating the girls. It was just a lot going on, but I learned. You know, we had a lot of drama there. We had hotels moving in. They didn't want us there. You know, it got
in the same area.
Yeah, they were right across the street. Had 2-3 hotels right there. So they're complaining every day.
So these other businesses move in next to a club, and it's like they take precedent, like almost like the club's not an important business.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how they take the angle, huh?
It got to the point where the city wanted to shut me down.
Wow.
So I had to fly in Al Sharpton.
Okay.
Have a rally, protest, and we pushed back. So, of course, no one likes that type of press.
Okay.
So what ended up happening is they offered me some other land way outside the city if I would move. But, I'm stubborn, so I didn't give in. I didn't want to leave, so I fought through it, and we won. We got to stay until I decided to renew my lease. And I called my lawyer because my partner and I said, we're going to buy the building. We locked into a price with the owner. We were excited, but we needed one more year to save. So we called our lawyer and said, listen, get one extension for 1 year, and then we're going to purchase. He said, okay, I'm in the middle of something. We'll take care of it. So fast forward to maybe 30 days later, I get a phone call from the liquor board asking me, was I selling my license? They knew someone who wanted to purchase it. I'm like, why would I sell my license? He's like, well, you do know the building was sold. And that's how I found out. I had no idea.
That's crazy.
So they let me stay for 6 months. I did one big concert with Yo Gotti on New Year's Eve, and that was my last day. I lost everything in one day.
Are you serious?
So
how'd you feel after putting in all that work? And it wasn't because you failed. It was because somebody stood in your way. What was your mindset? How'd you decide to not stop and keep going?
bills.
Yeah.
You know, responsibility. I have a child. I was a single mother. I had to take care of. You know, I was single by myself. You know, I couldn't. Losing and giving up wasn't an option. You know, and I believed in my product, and everyone loved my club. Like that was the hot club in Baltimore at the time. So in my mind, I was going to bounce right back. I'm gonna get another building, but it just didn't happen that way. We closed 2000 into 2012. I didn't get this spot until what 2.5 years ago. So that's a long time.
Talking about this spot, Icon.
Yep, Iconic Live.
Okay, so talk about that. 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
What happened? How did it come on?
You know,
to
the
fruition?
whole entire time I never gave up. I just kept doing concerts at arenas, doing different shows. I tied in with Radio 1, and I started doing Winterfest, Summer Jam for them. So that was quite lucrative. So I made 2-3 big shows a year, and I'm chilling. I'm traveling. I'm seeing the world.
Radio 1 based out of
here in Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah. So they fortunately have DC stations.
Yeah.
They have stations throughout. They're
Absolutely.
syndicated everywhere. But I have a very good relationship with the station here. Howard Mazes, the general manager, the program director, Kelson, who's the best ever. So we got together and we just started pulling these shows together, and
the
it was
Comeback
wonderful.
Series has to reach out to you, Radio 1. You got to reach out to you.
Oh yeah, they're good people to talk to too.
Absolutely.
So they supported me throughout the time, and we just started doing big shows. We had Lil Wayne, we had NBA YoungBoy, we had Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B. We've done everybody. You know,
all from 2.5 years ago. So right around pretty much.
No, it's been 10 years of me working with them. Over 10 years.
I got you.
At the arena, because that's why I was maintaining once I lost the first club.
But you got with Icon 2.5 years ago. Okay.
Yes, after the pandemic.
Got you.
Because everything shut down.
I was going to ask about that. So what did you do? How did business change during the pandemic?
Everything changed. The artists are 2 times more expensive. An artist that I would have paid maybe $100,000 for is $300,000-400,000
really?
now. Oh my gosh, it's insane how much they're making. I thought at first it was because they were trying to make up for the lost time, but once they got there, they never came back down. Just like groceries, just like everything. Everything's way more expensive now.
So obviously, let's go ahead and ask you some fun stuff, right?
Okay,
because
let's go.
You got some stories to tell. Mm-hmm. Has there been? Well, first let me ask you the difference, because you said this off air. You were like, concert promoting and party promoting are 2 different things.
Absolutely.
What do you like more about concert promoting? Or what are the major differences before I ask you the next question?
The largest difference, the reason I went concert, not party, because party is personal.
Okay.
I was born in Baltimore, Sinai Hospital, but my mom was in politics, so we moved. I went to 12 schools.
Oh, wow.
I never stayed here long, so we were always moved from state to state to state. So I didn't have that foundation of everybody in Baltimore knew me, you know, because I really wasn't here. So in saying that, I knew that I didn't have that popularity that I needed to pull off a party. So I went the opposite way and let the artist be the popular. Because my mindset is this way. He might be popular today, but he might go and get in trouble tomorrow, like a Puffy or whatever, and now I'm screwed. But I can get another artist.
Right.
I could do something wrong. They could turn on me today and no one come to my party, but I can always get another artist. So I just hid behind the artist, and it makes more sense for me.
But you also seem to have been able to master the relationship with the artist too, because you also said a lot of people were like reluctant to come to Baltimore, but they like to deal with you.
Yeah, so, the relationship and the rapport, their money was always right. They had a ball when they came. They loved working with me, but a lot of managers were fearful because they're like, hey, Tracy, this is $1 million operation. Do I want to risk it for one night at your club?
Right.
You know what I mean? But once they start to hear, because they all friends, all the artists know each other, all the managers know each other. So once I had a few good experiences, it spread.
Just like word of mouth.
So now they're calling me. We're coming through. You got some money for me? I want to do a show with you. They're calling me now, not calling them anymore. So that was a great place to be.
I hate to bring up the doom and gloom, but any bad shows, any bad experiences, if you don't want to drop names, but just like
a million.
Maybe some planning that you can remember that didn't quite go as well.
Lots of times. I'll give you a great one. Cardi B's first concert was with me. Okay. I did her very first show she'd ever done. She was petrified.
Cardi B's first show.
First concert she'd ever did, I did it. I had her at a place called the Patapsco Arena in Baltimore. Okay. I had her and I had Javante Tank Davis hosted.
Wow.
And I really thought they were going to date too. That's another story. But she did okay. I didn't make hardly any money. And I brought her back 3 more times after that, and it started getting better and better because she started to get more popular. Fast forward to the last show I did with her, I had her at the arena for Winterfest.
Okay. We
went on sale. When I tell you the whole screen shut down, all the tickets just went black. It's like she sold out so fast. I want to tell you what we made within 2-3 hours. It was insane. I almost passed out. I had never experienced that rush before, you know? And so I'll fast forward to like a week before the show, I get a phone call. What is that gentleman's name? He manages Blueface. What's his name? Always on the media
Oh,
talking
you talking
trash.
about Whack 100?
Whack. Whack was intimately involved with the whole transaction. So Whack called me and says, Tracy, I'm going to tell you the truth. Whack called me and said, Tracy, I need you to give me $32,000 or she's going to postpone your show. You're not bullying me. I don't care who you are, gangster.
But at this point, she was already committed.
On sale, done, contract done. But she was going, it's a clause in the contract. She can get out.
Okay.
So apparently something had gone on in her personal life and she needed more time. I'm sold out. This is the spring. So you call me the week of saying, give me $34,000. I'm not doing it. In retrospect, I should have did it because she canceled my show.
Wow.
It was so bad it was on Wendy Williams.
Are you serious?
Oh, it was huge. So she postponed a slew of shows. She did a few, but didn't do mine. So now Baltimore was like, oh, you didn't have the money or something was wrong on your end. Not realizing it really wasn't me. I was being blackmailed almost. And I didn't fall for it, which I should have, because had I known he had that much power, I would have made all that money. She gave me a new date. She made a video and posted it and said it wasn't my fault. She's coming to Baltimore, that whole bit. But she couldn't come until September. We're in spring. So you got people bought flights, hotels, because she's huge. They're flying in all over the world for this show.
Right.
They may not be able to come in September. We call September the Black Month in promoters world because it's back to school. People don't have money in September.
Right.
So that's the absolute worst month to pick. But it was either take that or take nothing. So I took it. But that change cost me maybe $400,000
Are you serious?
in profit.
But you know, this seems like the type of business to where you can see not even just your own mistakes, but it's probably easy to see other concert promoters' mistakes as well.
Yeah.
Were there other people that you saw coming up with you that kind of failed or didn't stick in the game as long as you that probably made those mistakes, so you never really paid it any attention?
50% of them are gone. You know, I can honestly say it's probably about 3 of us that are here now that were here then.
Yeah, because that's like when I think about concert promoters and party promoters, like I remember big names, but they had like their runs.
You get a season.
Really?
And I just spoke to a younger promoter now. He's feeling like he's on top of the world right now. And, you know, they're all hating on me. And I'm like, baby, let me explain something to you. How you treat these people while you're on top is how they're going to treat you when you come down. I've seen you come and go. People just like you. It's not, that ride is a roller coaster, baby. It's never going to last. People get older. They stop coming out. And then it evolves to the new crowd. Do they even know you? You know, it's
that's a good point.
Yeah, that's why I stayed at the concert. Because guess what? If Jeezy gets too old tomorrow, I can go get somebody new that's coming. I'll get Sexy Red. We just had it a couple months ago. It's always someone new coming out.
Because your audience is changing. You know, my little sister now is going to the same, seeing the artists that I used to see.
Really?
Like I was laughing because like I'm 38.
Okay.
Right. And like when you got an artist like Drake, for example, who's been in the game for so long.
Yeah.
I was seeing Drake when I was in my 20s. Now my baby sister, who's 13 years younger than me, she's 24, 25. She's going to see Drake. So that's wild.
I had Drake at the other club.
There you go.
Everyone came there. I'm talking about, of course, Cardi B was there, Drake was there, T.I. came, what's his name? DJ Khaled. Anyone you can think of during that time came through that club. DMX all the time. He was my to-date best concert we ever had there. He is an excellent performer.
Really? Rest in peace,
love
DMX.
him.
Do you always reach through like their people, or do you have like a certain network or avenue of how you reach your artists?
It's 50-50. Sometimes I just deal directly with management, and the ones I didn't have relationships with, like say for instance, I did a show in Alaska. Wow. And I wanted to bring Wiz Khalifa. I had no relationships. I had to go to the big boys, the big agencies.
How'd you manage to do a show in Alaska? Not that that's a bad place, but from Baltimore.
It was just, we had a team of people together. We were just trying to find areas that really didn't get hip hop much and music much. And we had a connection there in Anchorage and we just went for it.
Wow.
So we had Machine Gun Kelly and Wiz Khalifa.
How was it?
Fair. So. Wasn't what I wanted. It didn't turn out the way I expected. I think by being my first show, I didn't probably tap into the right people there because it's very cliquey there. You got to know who you know, and I must have used the right radio station. I don't know, but it didn't do as well. I think in part at the time, Wiz Khalifa was a different place in his life. He had just left. I think Amber had ended. He was going through a lot of issues personally.
Had a son.
He was going through a lot. He had a lot of little habits,
yeah,
and he wasn't promoting it. See, artists have to realize something. It doesn't just benefit me financially, because you're going to get paid regardless, right? But you want a good look for your artist, right?
Absolutely.
Who wants an artist to show up and no one's at your show? That reflects on you, because guess what? Promoters are watching it. Oh, he's not selling? Oh, I'm not booking him. It works hand in hand, you know? And I think in that time, he just didn't care. I saw him after that. He's a whole different guy. He's doing great now. But then he was just going through a lot, you know? They're still humans.
Shout out to Wiz Khalifa.
Good guy.
You seem like a person who really has high expectations when you get involved in something. Do you go into these parties with high expectations, or have you tempered your expectations to kind of say, like, it might be, you know, something that jumps off, or it might not be as big as you'll expect? Like, how do you go in mentally with these shows? Do you expect them to bang every time?
No, I don't. I used to when I was naive to it, but, you know, prime example, I had Chris Brown in June.
This past June?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I thought once I dropped it was just going to be sold out in 5 minutes. Not so, because the economy can't support it. There's too many Live Nation big tours going out, and everybody can't keep up. They can't catch their breath. You know, and these tickets are 4 and 5. And, you know, that costs a lot of money for these shows. So, you know, I used to feel great about it because artists were 10 and 20,000. But when you get artists that are 150,000, you're trying to put them in a club, I hope to break even sometimes. More is about exposure sometimes, you know. It's not always about winning.
The visibility to get your brand out there.
You think Live Nation wins every time, but they don't. You know, we hope in the end you're in the black.
I like how you said that.
But sometimes you're gonna be in the red. You're just juggling.
What did you just say? You say you think they think they win every time, but they don't, huh?
No, they don't. They don't. But that's why they're buying the buildings. They control the merch. They have so many streams of income. So the show might not made them money, but they might have made up the merch, or they might have made it the bar because they own the building now. You know, they're definitely, they own Ticketmaster. You know, they have a lawsuit now because it's a monopoly. You can't own all these things.
Really?
Because they're boxing all us small folks out.
Speaking of which, you're talking about some big things right now. Economy, you know, monopolizing the business. I'm watching the Climbback series, right? I want to be like Tracye Ikon. What can I do right now? Like, how can I get started for real? What's the direction?
I feel so sorry for promoters starting now because I was lucky. I mean, I was paying T.I. and Wayne $10,000. I just had Wayne for Winterfest, and we paid him a lot more. Like,
not
a lot
10
more.
grand, huh?
No, we're talking like a half, you know, of $1 million. That's different. That's a different type of number. You know,
one appearance.
For one concert. 45 minutes of his life. But he deserves it. He's a GOAT.
Definitely one of my favorite rappers of all time.
But, I mean, you talk about J. Cole's, and the others are getting $1 million now. 750, 800,000.
Are you serious?
Even a dude, Raw Wave's getting 750. They're getting baked, but they're selling out arenas. They deserve it.
So that tour money
But you got to have money to book these guys. So the small guys getting shoved out because Live Nation offered them 20, 30, 100 million for X amount of years. So now they're seeing all these big numbers, not realizing that they're really pushing us out.
Give me an artist that, no disrespect to them, the party ended up being much bigger than you thought. Going into it, the name probably wasn't as big at the time with respect to them, but coming out, you were like really impressed by the results. Is there any party you could think of?
Recently, I've worked with, what are they called? City Girls before.
Okay.
I had Future, City Girls, 42 Doug, and Moneybag Yo for my Summer Fest a couple years ago, right after the pandemic.
Future, City Girls, Moneybag Yo.
And 42 Doug.
42 Doug, okay.
And Gotti came as a gift because we're really, really close. Really,
I
started them out. I've been funny. I did Wayne's Carter 3 album release concert on a Tuesday, and him, Baby, and I put it together. And he was like, "Well, who you want to put on? You know your market better than I do." I said, "Let's put Gotti and Gucci on it." They didn't know who they were. They were who?
But Gucci always, Gotti and Gucci got love.
They didn't know who Gotti was. So Gotti and I have remained loyal because, you know, I kicked him out there when he first started and got him, you know, really notarized in this whole DMV area.
Yeah.
No one knew him, you know. So I think he did an interview not too long ago, and when they asked him how you started, he said, "Shout out to Tracy because she really helped me get started." And we've remained loyal since, you know. But to say, fast forward to say, I had City Girls.
Okay.
And this show didn't do as well because after we went on sale, the venue decided to say they have to be tested before they can come in. Well, if you know and I know, my people don't play that COVID shot test and stuff much. They're not going to go through all to see a show. So it killed my sales. It killed it.
But they knew it was.
I should have pulled out, but I went forward thinking that this lineup is sick. And I was in Columbia, Maryland, so I'm thinking DC gonna come.
Yeah.
Columbia's gonna come.
Columbia got money.
Didn't happen. But fast forward.
Was that Merriweather?
Merriweather Post Pavilion.
Okay.
Fast forward, I brought JT.
Okay.
I thought it was gonna be cute. What? She made me the most out of every show I've ever had in this building.
Shout out to Tracy for having me at Ikonic Live. I hope that you had an amazing turnout.
You are wonderful.
Thank
the best,
you.
guys. The best ever.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, baby,
I'm
so
always
much.
supporting you. And I wish
Please.
you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Okay?
Only come here.
Only come. Okay. Only. I'm
That's
only,
it. She's mine.
I'm her.
Period. Period.
Shout out to JT from the City
Killed it.
Girls.
And her energy has greatly changed since that day. When I met her, she was, I don't know if she was in a place. But when she came this time, when I tell you, if I DM'd her, if I called, whatever, she responded. If I said, I need you to post again, right away, post. Like, she was like my partner in it. I'd never met an artist do that in my life, ever. And it worked for her. Now she's on fire. On fire.
Any other stories you want to bring out and just bring out to the Climbback series where we got the time that you can think of that stand out during your promoting time?
Well, on a negative or a positive? I can
Whatever.
Give you, well, I will say who I really loved and still love to this day was Common.
Okay.
My mother never went to, God rest her soul, she never came to my show. She's a pastor. Before she died, she just, she doesn't come to hip hop, clearly. So I thought Common would be someone who's so conscious that she could come to and enjoy, right? Because he's not a vulgar, rapper. So I brought him down to a place called The Lyric. And only 500 tickets sold. Okay. Because Jay-Z decided he was going to come the same day, 2 weeks before my show. Tracye Ikon, you do the math. So everybody ran off to see Jay-Z, and it kind of really, it just killed the sales. So I went to him, and I was like, two things. I'm hurting, because financially, I don't know if I have your whole back end. I'm going to be honest with you. It's only 500 tickets.
You told him that?
I told him. I said, what do you want to do? He said, give me this smaller amount. He said, I'm going to go out there and make sure those 500 people have a great time.
Wow.
No one's ever said it to me. And he knew my mom was out there. He was talking to her. It was just... It made me feel bad. I mean, I lost a lot of money, but he made those fans that did come had a good time, So you got to take the bitter with the sweet in this game. You just never know. I've had artists I booked, and the next day they go to jail, and it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? They don't want to give you your money back. Like, it's crazy.
That's the part of the game, huh?
Part of the game.
But
It's a messy game.
It sounds like a game that you can't be, it's not for the faint, right?
At all.
Not for the weak-hearted.
At all. If you can't stand to lose money, don't do it.
And I learned something over the last few people that I've talked to in the Climbback series. I get that message of not taking things personal. Definitely don't want to take things personal in this business, right?
You can't. And by me being a female makes it harder. Because, you got to deal.
Yeah, talk about that.
Oh, it's rough. Because, I'm a little older now, but in my heyday, I was kind of hot. And the guys would not take me serious. They were like, well, let's go back to the hotel. No, we're not doing that. And I had a team of bad chicks. I purposely had a bunch of bad chicks for a couple reasons. It was a great look, and we proved that we can be in business and not be about that.
Which makes it even better. You're going to get the engagement.
Yeah, they were like, y'all, we all bad, but we're about that business. And if I found out they did anything wrong, they got fired immediately. Now, if he was about to marry you and y'all were going to run off to the sunset, go ahead and do that. But most of the time, they were just hitting and moving. You know how it goes, city to city. And we kept it professional. But it was a challenge. It really was, some of those guys were cute to me too, but I knew once I broke that seal of trust, I would be nothing. I'd be trash.
And reputation was everything.
It would be ruined.
Right.
And they knew not to play with me because I was all about the business.
Is that probably the most important part of this business? Is your reputation?
100%. The bag to be right. And when they get there, everything is what I promise. Because it's a lot of so-called janky promoters out here, They'll book an artist and they get there, the back end's gone, they ran out the back door, it's just, and it makes it hard for us that actually are trying to do good business.
So we are here at Belize Rooftop, Guilford Avenue, right? The sun is setting. I'm excited because we're going to have a table out here, Foolie.
Good.
P, shout out to P. So what can I expect, as the weather's changing, because we're going into the fall, Baltimore, we got seasons. We still going to do the rooftop or be switching out downstairs?
I usually try to go as far as I can. I usually make it to maybe the end of October. Really depends on this whole world, how it is. You never know.
You never know, right?
And then we just solely downstairs. And I do a lot downstairs, just not parties and concerts. We do fashion shows. I've had Netflix sets. We've done movie, Comcast, NBC does interviews downstairs. A multitude of weddings, conventions, the mayor's going to event downstairs. We just do whatever. It's an entertainment venue. I don't want to be pigeonholed as a club because clubs don't last.
Speaking of not being pigeonholed, where is Tracye Ikon going to be in 5 years?
Retired on an island at my beach house. My dream is to get this fully functioning and I can just check my account and the money's there. It may not be parties anymore. It might just be rentals. you know, to where I don't have to worry about the day-to-day operations, because I don't see me doing it much longer than 5 more years. I don't. But I mean, I didn't think I'd be doing it this long, so who knows, you know?
The concert promoter extraordinaire is going to be doing it for 5 more years. Get with it now. Don't miss it.
Yeah.
Where can we find you, though? Like, on social? Like, if I want to find you, how can I contact you?
Well, the best way for me is Instagram, Tracye Ikon, and that's Tracye Ikon. But we have websites. I have BelizeRooftop.com. I have IconicLive.com. You know, you can email me at IconicLive@gmail.com. I'm accessible. Unfortunately, I say that too much. My husband's like, why are you so damn accessible? But I mean, only I can represent myself the best way, I think, you know?
Only you can represent yourself the best way. The gyms are crazy, man. Another great episode. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I'm just grateful that you're here. I
Thank
hope you
you.
enjoy your stay when you come party with us.
We just getting started. The climb
Some
back.
island vibes, you know?
We hit a vibe about the climb back series. We'll definitely come back and party with you. You guys could, you know, definitely come out and give it a shot, man. It's the Belize Rooftop. Thank you very much, Tracy Ikon. I appreciate you for everything.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Beautiful place, and party with y'all soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks.